in the area at game time for that one later today.
I thought a lot about football. I thought a lot about football, and this is really the time of year where the real games count, and you got to love it. Divisional, all the races that are going on. This is good football today, baby.
You want me to pick Miami with what I just saw? There's no way the Dolphins are going to win today.
Okay, listen.
There are 8 positions, coaches, positions that may be available at the end of the season due to firings in the NFL. But my advice to the players that's on those teams, play hard, finish strong, because new coaches, normally they come in, view the last few games of the season, and evaluate from there. So finish strong and hard.
You know, yesterday I came up from Philadelphia because I did the Army-Navy game, and what an honor that was to do that game with Iron Eagle. And today is Pearl Harbor Day, fellas, so let's not forget about the men and women across this country and across the world protecting our freedom. Way to go, Army and Navy. There are no losers.
There's nothing like being at that game. I tell you, I say that from experience. By the way, how was Scranton?
Man,
was it okay?
3.5 hours drive. I mean, that's the only place I could land, and I was thinking about maybe playing golf in Florida, all these things going through the snow. So
I don't know. Call you naive for thinking you were going to be able
no,
to
wait,
I hate
He's not naive.
He called me naive.
Hey, listen, folks, straight ahead.
People have reported, if you get a close-up, that Jimmy's not coming back. The rumors are he's going back to the Giants. Look at this picture, folks. That spells stress. That spells, I took the cash. I need to get out. I need medicine. Jimmy and Howie. Terry and Howie.
Let me ask you, where do I put my boat?
You don't put your boat anywhere.
Is it cold in New York?
Hey, and are other people saying what Jimmy's going to be doing?
Oh, Jimmy's not coming
Please,
back.
I'm with my guys.
Jimmy, he likes to be danced with. He don't want
Hey,
to go
folks,
home.
with just 4 games to go, let's get you caught up on what the playoff picture looks like. Unlike previous seasons, the picture is pretty clear. First, in the NFC, if the Philadelphia Eagles knock off Dallas today, they clinch the playoffs. Now, that should make quarterback Donovan McNabb the poster child for perseverance. But now, meanwhile, the Rams get in the postseason if the Saints lose today and the Rams, win tomorrow night in Cleveland. Marshall Faulk is indeed back and healthy, and that means trouble for the rest of the NFC. That is a nice segue because here are the rest of the NFC contenders. After the Eagles and Rams, the other division leaders are the Panthers and Vikings. Carolina clinches the NASCAR division, as Howie likes to call it, the NFC South, with a win tonight over Atlanta and a Saints loss. The Cowboys and Seahawks lead the wild card chase. Over in the AFC, KC will see the AFC West title with a win at Denver. They can thank Priest Holmes for answering all of their prayers. He's run for more touchdowns than every other team in the NFL. Meanwhile, there's a big battle in the AFC East today. The Brady's bunch can have the last laugh against Miami. They win the AFC East if they are victorious. Now just think about everyone, including Terry, who wrote off the Patriots after their Week 1 disaster. Not true. The rest of the AFC looks like this. The Colts and Bengals lead their divisions, but after today's games against the Titans and Ravens, all that can change. Right now, Miami's in good shape, but they have a tough schedule down the stretch. The top 4 teams in the league right now are the Eagles, Rams, Chiefs, and the Patriots. Jimmy, with that foursome, who do you like?
JB, you look at the playoffs, and it's the best teams in the league. You know, a lot of times during the regular season, you can turn the ball over and get away with it. You don't get away with it in the playoffs. So when I look at the best teams, I'm going to say, look at these playoff teams, and who does the best job of protecting the ball? AFC, best in the entire NFL. Kansas City, they've only given it away 13 times. You look at the NFC, as much as I like St. Louis, and I think St. Louis will win the division, have home field advantage, they've turned it over 33 times. That's why I think Philadelphia will go to St. Louis in the playoffs and win.
I disagree, because if they both end up, that's Philadelphia and St. Louis, then Philly would get the home field advantage. Plus, if you look at the schedule, I see both of them winning out. I think your Philadelphia Eagles go down and lose to Miami. Okay, so that's kind of a wash there. But there's still going to be an upset. I'm going to tell you right now, watch out for the Saints in New Orleans. They're going to be my upset pick. AFC, pick them. I'm going with the Colts in the AFC.
Howard, you got that look on your face. RCA dog look. Philadelphia will. New England will go to Kansas City and beat Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, and I have Philadelphia going to St. Louis, and St. Louis is tough to beat in St. Louis. We've got a rematch of the Super Bowl between New England and the St. Louis
Hey,
Rams.
as Rain Man was talking, it was you and Jimmy both with the head look.
Yeah, I like the RCA dog.
Yeah.
One game that will shake the
uses it
seeding in
every
the
week.
NFC playoffs is today's matchup between the Cowboys and Eagles. Philadelphia is zeroing in on home field advantage throughout the playoffs, while Big D is one big upset from retaking first place in the East. Joe Buck is at the link with Maury. Hello, Joe.
Hi, JB. Tailgate. That's what they do out in the parking lot here in Philadelphia. It is stinking cold and windy. Going to be an interesting atmosphere for this battle in the NFC East. This young Cowboys team, they have no idea what they're going to walk into here at this stadium today. Philly fans hoping they can christen this place the right way. Yesterday, the Army-Navy game was played down on that field. How will the footing be? And can the Cowboys run the ball, something they have struggled to do this season? By the way, they've been shut out their last 2 games on the road. On the other side, Donovan McNabb's turnaround, a big reason why the Eagles are riding a 7-game winning streak. Look at the numbers coming off his best month ever in the NFL. And by the way, our fantasy pick, how could we as a group not pick the guy who walks into the stadium wearing a Troy Aikman UCLA throwback jersey? That's my fantasy pick. Sam Rosen is standing by in Minneapolis.
Thanks very much, Joe. The Minnesota Vikings need a win badly, and Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss, and Michael Bennett know they've got to get it turned around today. They've gone from 6-0 to 7-5 and need a win to hold on to the top spot in the NFC North. The Seattle Seahawks come in, led by quarterback Matt Hasselbeck, who's thrown 8 touchdown passes the last 2 weeks. They're perfect at home, but they've lost their last 4 road games. They have injuries on the defensive side with Anthony Simmons and Brandon Mitchell out. Dede Lewis and Lamar King replace them. First game in a dome this season for the Seahawks, and it'll be loud here in the Metrodome. Mike Holmgren knows it well. He was 1-6 when he was head coach at Green Bay. How about your fantasy pick today? Let's go to Darrell Jackson, the Seahawks wide receiver, who's had back-to-back 100-yard, 2-touchdown games. That's the story in Minnesota. Let's go to Green Bay and Dick Stockton.
Thank you, Sam. And a beautiful sunrise today in Green Bay has given way to overcast skies at Lambeau Field, and the traditional Bears-Packers rivalry takes on added meaning. The Bears now 1 game behind the Packers. Pack trails the Vikings by 1 in the NFC North. And the Bears didn't fool anyone, waiting till Friday to name Cordell Stewart as the quarterback. The Packers prepared for him exclusively all week. Rex Grossman, the rookie, will back him up. As far as the Packers go, milestone day. Brett Favre will break the record for consecutive games played. Amon Green could break the single-season rushing record as well. But also keep in mind that the Packers are 0-6 this year when either Favre or Green coughs up the ball. Still, I'm going to go with Amon Green as my fantasy pick. He's had a penchant for coming back after off games, as he did on Thanksgiving Day. He is my fantasy pick today. And right now, let's go to Ron Pitts in New Orleans.
Well, Dick, the Bucs take on the Saints today, and this may be the last stand for John Gruden and the defending Super Bowl champs. At 5-7, a loss could shipwreck their playoff hopes. And as you can see, the last 3 meetings very well.
Accurate. If that was what Lawrence said is the NFL.
Lawrence wrote a book. I wrote a book.
But that's why we're talking about Lawrence. He wrote the book, Dion.
People were saying if it is that sordid and sinister, man, it's hard to root for that brand, for that product. That's really how it is, and that's why I wanted to know the percentages here.
Well, I think
you don't want your business in the street, don't write a book, too.
That's right. That's basically what.
All right, guys, we're
just
moving on.
keep it in the closet.
We're moving on here on this first Sunday of December. Who's been the biggest bust this season in the NFL? That's one of the topics we're going to hit when we go to Quick Hits right after this.
The NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines.
Deck just 1 hour prior to kickoff. Today, sunny, temperatures in the 20s, but weather could be a factor. The field is slick, the winds are swirling, the snow piled up over 6 feet in the back of the end zone. Giants have lost 5 straight here at home. They haven't lost 6 in a row at home since Bill Parcells' first season back in '83. And JB, my FoxSports.com fantasy pick, Tiki Barber. He gained 126 yards against the Redskins back in September.
All right, Kenny, thank you so very much. Seattle and Minnesota. Matt Hasselbeck, 3rd year in Seattle. Big things were expected 3 years ago, but he's finally delivering now.
Well, he's delivering now. He's got Corden Robinson. He has Darrell Jackson at wide receiver. He's got a 1,000-yard rusher in Alexander, so the offense is intact. Plus, only the best inside the 20 coach in the world, and that's Holmgren, his head coach. Don't forget, when Brett Favre had Mike Holmgren in Green Bay, he threw 137 touchdown passes, only 14 interceptions inside the 20. But the problem has been for Hasselbeck and the Seahawks. They have not been able to win on the road. They're 1-4 this year. And Howie, they have lost 3 games on the road in the last 9 minutes, or they very well would be 11-1 at this point. Huge game for them today. They gotta win on the road. I think Hasselbeck gets it done.
Well, Minnesota's a team that's been in a free fall, particularly on the road, and they go home now where they had success early in the season, and they've struggled inside the 20, oddly enough, and they've struggled picking up the blitz. Part of that's on the offensive line, part of that's on the running backs, and part of it is on the quarterback. That offensive line has gotten pushed around to me, particularly in the run game and in pass protection, and they need to step up. That defense is what it is in Minnesota. They need help.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's not very physical, and sometimes I don't understand coaches. Mike Tice told me early in the season, one reason for their success, 6-0 start, had such a physical training camp, all kind of scrimmages and practice and physical practices. Well, what have they done after they went 6-0? They pulled the pads off. He had his first physical pad practice this week. Maybe too late.
You like the
right
faces?
now, I don't know.
If you don't understand coaches, how do you expect us to understand?
Yeah, the guy pulled the pads off when they started winning.
We need insight.
While they continue to debate that, let me tell you, folks, the Vikings are faltering, and so are Howie's Oakland Raiders. In case you missed it, an Oakland area psychiatrist said this week that the Raiders have issues. Oh, yeah? And he can help. Well, sorry, buddy. Mad TV's Frank Caliendo beat you to the punch.
On today's show, I'm going to talk to a couple of men who were living life high on the hog last year, only to let problem children wreck their families. And now they're losers. Let me welcome the coaches from Super Bowl 37, John Gruden and Bill Callahan. Bill, you called the Raiders the dumbest team in America, and that was after some of your players called you some bad names. First of all, saying 2 negatives makes a positive. It's like watching Broken Arrow and saying Howie Long's a good actor. I mean, it just doesn't add up. And second of all, what the HE double hockey sticks were you thinking, letting that kind of mutinous behavior go on your watch?
Well, Charles is a former Heisman Trophy winner.
Bill, I don't care if he's a daytime Emmy winner, which I should be instead of that dancing fool Wayne Brady. What was I talking about?
Charles Woodson.
Oh, yeah. Bill, we teach people how to treat us, and sometimes it's better to be healthy alone than sick with someone else. Ask Mr. 5-7 John Gruden over here. That's why Keyshawn is key gone.
Exactly. He's unacceptable.
Now, did anyone ask you for your advice? I know you won the Super Bowl last year, but really, come on, look who you beat.
We had a lot of tough injuries.
Stop making excuses and start making results. And enough already with the Johnny Angry Pants on the sideline. That's more annoying than sharing a pizza with Oprah Winfrey.
This is unacceptable.
You're unacceptable. Now, John, I can see that you're upset. So show Dr. Phil where it hurts. It's here, isn't it? It's time for Frank's Picks. This week, the Packers will take charge against the Bears. The Niners will embrace a positive outlook and beat up on the Cards. The Eagles will revel in their newfound assertiveness by beating the boys, and my upset pick is the Dolphins to knock the snot out of the pants. Now, before I send it back to the guys, I'm a doctor. Well, sort of. And in all my years of doing this, I've learned one thing for sure. Nobody's as freaking nice as you seem to be, JB. You gotta be hiding something. When you're ready to confront your rage, you come see me. I know I'm a bald white guy with a southern accent, but not all of us are nuts.
Frank is excellent. Go ahead. He is very funny. He's good. I'm glad he mentioned Firestorm, because Firestorm, Broken Arrow, and 3,000 Miles of Graceland are now available at holiday prices at all of your local video stores. Go get them, folks. Settle in with the family at the couch.
Oh, man. Well, with the season winding down, your chance to beat Frank Caliendo at Picking Games is winding down as well. All you need to do is log on to foxsports.com and play the Bud Light Pro Pick'em contest. Hey, folks, as we talked about a huge storm on the East Coast, as I mentioned at the top of the show,
Jimmy's
here to tell us all about it, and maybe what she's got on the calendar as well. JB.
Howie's going to send Frank on a one-way ticket out on the East Coast
Frank's
right now.
Frank's my man.
You know what, Broken Arrow...
12 games this season, this guy hadn't carried the ball over 20 times. This guy only averages 17.9 carries a game. And the team is 2-10, no supporting cast. And this guy, 66 receptions, 63 receptions out of the backfield. That's only 3 less than Marvin Harrison. That's the best running back in football right now.
Wow.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. There's about 5 or 6 guys you can live with. Because I didn't have running backs for a lot of years, so I'd take all of them.
All right, Boomer, you got one here. The quarterback issue at San Francisco. It's going to be Jeff Garcia today getting the start against Arizona. Garcia awful last week. 4 picks he threw against the Ravens. His coach said, Dennis Erickson, this is no brainer giving him the start.
Well, I think Jeff Garcia catches a break here because they play Arizona at home. Remember, this team is not the same team on the road. Even though Tim Rattay played really well in his in replacement role, he played against teams that weren't quite as good defensively as Baltimore. So I think, you know, he's catching a break. And I also think that maybe Bill Walsh had something to do with that.
Yeah, it's a good time to get the confidence
horrible
back
is
today.
a little rough. Horrible?
Yeah,
That's
horrible.
a little rough, isn't it?
It's almost like baddest. Is that baddest?
Well, I'm kind of like the baddest guy up here.
You are the baddest guy. A reminder, you can get all the latest fantasy football news. Find out more about Gridiron Greats presented at T-Mobile, CBSSportsLine.com. Next on the NFL Today, we're going on the field. You're going to have to check out some of these sites here with the weather. Showdown Sunday continues with the latest live from Foxborough, Denver, and Philadelphia here on the NFL Today.
Congratulations to our Staples Coach of the Week, Steve Mariucci of the Detroit Lions. Last week, he and the Lions feasted on the Green Bay Packers en route to a 22-14 Thanksgiving Day victory. And here's to our winning school, Allen Park High.
Thank you, Staples, from all of us here at Allen Park High School, and
they'll receive $5,000 in school supplies courtesy of Staples. Enter today for your chance to win at staples.com/coach. Staples, that was easy.
This football game comes down to this play. 4th and goal. Edgerrin James behind Manning. Give it to James. Straight ahead. He didn't get there. Willie McGinnis.
I guess he thought I was in coverage, but I was just baiting. I wasn't. I was coming hard. And they happened to run it. I just went right into Edgerrin and made the play.
For more, go to NFL.com, your official source for NFL news.
That was a stellar goal line stand last week. Will the Patriots
halftime lead as Roethlisberger, scrambling left, hits Michael Larkin at a 7-point Miami lead. Third quarter.
Patriots win 3-0, so we don't have to worry about that today. But injury-wise, we do have some stories. First of all, for the Dolphins, Zach Thomas pulled a hip muscle lifting on Monday. He's going to get out here. He's going to see exactly what he can do. He will have no idea whether or not he can play until he warms up. Tim Bowens is going to be out there. He's going to play in this game. But actually, because of his calf is hurt, he also won't know exactly how much he can do until he gets out and plays. And for the New England Patriots, Troy Brown's had a bad hamstring for a few weeks. He's a game-time decision, comes out, warms up. How's it feel? That'll decide it. Let's go right now to Armin Catane in Denver.
Well, this is the time of year where it should be full of holiday cheer. Instead, there's a lot of bad blood boiling here in sunny Denver between the Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. It all started earlier this week when a local columnist accused the Chiefs in an 11-1 record of being a fraud. That set off Kansas City wide receiver Eddie Kennison, who enjoys a rather long and very disputed relationship with Denver head coach Mike Shanahan, dating back to November 2001, when Shanahan cut Kennison. That was the night after Kennison refused to play in a game against the San Diego Chargers under rather disputed circumstances that remain unresolved to this day. Well, Kennison went off this week against Shanahan and the Broncos organization. Here's an excerpt.
They always talk noise. That's just the type of organization they are. And it starts with people up top. You allow your people to do that, then they'll do it. You got big mouths like that, then you can run your big mouth. But, you know, Sunday's show and record's a show.
Well, not surprisingly, the war of words escalated after that. Several Bronco players telling us on Friday they'd like nothing better than to get a very large piece of Eddie Kennison today. As for the Kansas City Chiefs, Trent Green, their quarterback, told us last night they spent the first 20 minutes of their meeting yesterday trying to resolve all the things that had gone on during their wild week and refocus on what should be a very competitive and intense game today. And as far as Kennison and Shanahan, maybe they can just use the NFL's latest licensed product to settle their differences. Well, let's go off to Philadelphia now and Leslie Visser.
Thanks, Armin. Bad blood here, too. This is a bitter rivalry on a bitterly cold day. Well, the field looks pretty good following the Army-Navy game. The workers went deep into the night repairing the field, repainting the NFL lines. Both kickers from both teams told me they think the field is pretty good. They've gone to longer spikes. It's actually the wind that concerns them more. Well, the last time I covered this game was for Monday Night Football. Deion Sanders, you returned a punt, 69 yards for a touchdown. The Cowboys were so dominant that one Philly fan finally hung a sign up saying, "Put Boomer Esiason in." Well, times have changed. The Eagles are now the team to beat in the NFC, but for Dallas, the boys are back in town.
One of the first things that was told to me when I first got here as a rookie was you don't listen to a certain radio station and you don't like Dallas. And that's the way that this city approaches it.
Coach is pretty much not even going to have to give a pregame speech, because if we don't know what this game means, then we shouldn't even be in professional football.
Touchdown, Miami Dolphins!
We got embarrassed, and we really don't take that lightly. You know, who likes to get embarrassed on TV, and at home? We're a little upset about that.
We didn't bend them to the bottom. We didn't roll ourselves out the bottom, man.
There were plays that we just didn't make early on in the year that, now we're starting to understand that, it could be one or two big plays in the course of a game that could help you win.
To us, we worry about what we do. We have to go out there and execute. We can't turn the ball over. We have to run the ball. If we do those things, then we win the game, regardless of how many games they've won in a row.
After week 3, that win in Buffalo, it changed our season. The attitude changed, the atmosphere changed, and we've been on the road.
We beat them the first time, and I'm sure they remember that. And right now they're on a 7-game winning streak, so we got to knock them off their high horse.
Well, this should be great here today. The fans, of course, hated Tom Landry. They hated Jimmy Johnson. They've done their fair share of screaming at Bill Parcells. At Army for 4 years. He said that's where he learned duty, honor, and what buttons to push. Well, that was in evidence this morning. Bill told me his message to his team today is, seasons are decided in games like this. Don't you be the player who sends us home. Jim?
All right, thank you very much. Little hate there. Hate Tom Landry. Hated Jimmy Johnson.
Anybody hate Tom Landry?
Did they have a problem with Chan Gailey or Dave
Johnson,
Campo?
we can understand
All right,
that.
again, you can catch the highlights of today's games on AOL. What about this game here, Dallas?
I think really Dallas' secondary last week got exposed on Thanksgiving Day by the Miami Dolphins and getting big plays down the field. And look for Donovan McNabb to come out early in this game and try to get big plays, throwing it on their corners, on the Philadelphia corners. But what they do best is they run the football. They got 3 backs, combination of 1,000 yards for the year. And Donovan McNabb, that's not even including him. So look for him to throw it deep early and run the ball to win the game.
Both teams occupy triple threats at running back, but you know what? Dallas really don't have a running game, and that's going to be sad. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Quincy Cutter, and this team is not designed to come back from behind. I talked to Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator. He said, Deion, in the first 20 so plays, they always have a little razzle-dazzle, a little something up their sleeves, and you can't defend for that.
No, I talked to Brian Dawkins.
You talked to a player?
I talked to Brian Dawkins from the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what? And he's talking about confidence and where they are right now mentally. And that's the opposite spectrum of where the Cowboy offense is. And Miami Dolphins, I think, took a little of that confidence away from them on Thanksgiving Day. So this is a confidence team rising in Philadelphia and maybe sliding a little bit on the offense of Dallas.
And Cowboy
I talked
offense.
to Ron Jaworski, the former quarterback.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, trying to set up a golf game. That's 28 straight possessions for the Cowboys on the road without even scoring a point. They've been shut out their last 2, so we'll see today. Still ahead on the NFL today. Marcus Allen, just trying to support your theory there on that offense. Marcus Allen with Anthony Wright of the Ravens. He's gone from the emergency third to a rising star. We'll have his story. And then we've also got Marino and Manning.
Peyton waits for the snap.
You want to know what audibles I'm going to call against the Titans? I can't tell you that, but I am going to talk to Dan Marino.
that not only has power, but a bursting, is shifty enough like Deuce.
With Jerome, it was more of it's going to be a 30, 40-yard run, whereas with Deuce, it can definitely go 70.
He breaks free. He's into the Eagle territory. A foot race at the 30, 25-20, 15-10, dives into the end zone. Touchdown. A 76-yard touchdown burst by Deuce McAllister.
A lot of backs can just run with the football, but they can't catch it, and they can't block, and they can't pick up the blitzes. And he wasn't really that good at picking up blitzes and blocking last year. Am I right?
It's true.
That's true. And you worked on it. How is he? Is he better?
Much better. He helps me out a lot. And he's a big guy, obviously, so he's not like one of them little scat bats going to get ran over. So he helps me out a lot just knowing that he's going to be there, got my back for me.
I'm the guy that has to make a lot of adjustment calls at the line, and if I don't make them, then Deuce has got to be the guy to make up for it, and he does. We had to threaten him with the amount of carries that he gets in a game in order to get him to go over and block the safety whenever he comes. They bring 4 a week. Deuce, get over there, or you're not going to run the ball. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Do y'all ever sit around and say, let's get Deuce 200 yards?
I sometimes tell Deuce, we need 137 yards this week. I'll give him a number. And he was like, that's all?
Ask Deuce and he'll tell you, numbers mean very little in his grand scheme.
What's the most important thing, Deuce?
Playoffs. I just want to see what it's like. Experience the playoffs. You know, to get to that big game. Just to get in the playoffs and just let it happen.
A lot going on in New Orleans. Don't forget, at the end of the year, coaches will be fired, and I have to believe that Jim Haslett will be a hot property, primarily in Buffalo, if Williams is let go. One of the reasons his wife is from the Buffalo area, tons of friends up there, but he's got 4 years remaining on his Saints contract. But, you know, I think personally, he would be a perfect fit at Penn State. College. When Paterno leaves. Man loves to recruit. I think Haslett at Penn State, ideal fit.
If mama ain't happy?
If mama ain't happy, you ain't happy.
Nobody's happy.
Can I have an amen?
Amen.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, folks, time now for a Sprint to cover the field.
Sprint Covers the Field is brought to you by Sprint, proudly offering picture mail and PCS Vision picture phones.
We got to get them on. Last week we asked the fans, who is the coach of the year? Take a look. Most of you think it's Bill Parcells. Outstanding considering the list of candidates. From the coach of the year to this week's virtual coach question, which team is the biggest disappointment? The G-Men, Oakland, Pittsburgh, San Francisco, or Tampa Bay? Vote right now using your Sprint phone with PCS Vision or by logging on to foxsports.com. And folks, while you're at it, log on to fox.com and check out an outstanding show, the winner of a Peabody Award for Broadcast Excellence, The Bernie Mac Show.
Yeah. Oh, boy, this is awesome. Can't believe we built
injury. And that's consistency and durability.
Yeah, he is durable. He really is. It's time for CarQuest, Chalk Talk, and McNair, Manning, the division, all kinds of, maybe the MVP on the line here today.
MVP guys ranked first and third, respectively, in passer rating. But you know what I like about Peyton Manning?
Tell me.
78 completions at or behind the line of scrimmage. I really like that. But he's going to have a tough time today. You know why? Because he's playing against the Tennessee Titans, 10 in a row at home, 26 games at home without allowing a guy to rush for 100 yards. Edgerrin James, it's going to be a long day. Oh, it's going to be a long day.
I don't think so. Go ahead.
The thing about this is that Tennessee really has played their worst football the last couple of weeks. They beat Jacksonville at home 10-3. Then they lose Monday night at the Meadowlands to the New York Jets. And it's up to this guy right here, Steve McNair, at home. You know Jeff Fisher is going to have this crew fired up. They're going to come out. It's going to be an emotional game, going to be a real physical game. And the question will be, can the Colts kind of fight back that physical?
And did you call him adorable or durable?
That's what I thought he said adorable.
Okay.
I called him durable.
Durable. And
durable. You thought I said, yeah, he's
kind of cute. Okay. Up next, Marcus Allen in Baltimore with the story of a quarterback who took 5 long years to become an overnight sensation. That story coming up.
Deep in the back of the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown.
Hey, look, you want to know if I think Baltimore's found the right combination to win the AFC North? Keep it here.
It's here! The new AOL disc is here.
Can't believe that it's done.
Hold on. That's AOL 9.0 Optimize you've got there.
It's Jerry Stiller.
You've been...
We can work, and we started this training camp, but nobody was missing practices. We're out here hustling and putting ourselves for each other. This was the ball right here. 85. start the new Bengals. It's a new Bengals, the new team, baby, a new era. Just start right now. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
It is a new era there for the Bengals as they have that battle for first coming up. Many of you will see it here on CBS. Cincinnati and Baltimore. The story with the Ravens right now, the quarterback position. After Kyle Bowler goes out with injury, Chris Redmond does not work out. They find Mr. Wright there, Anthony Wright. He has been something else. Let's go live to Baltimore. Our man Marcus Allen is there with more on Anthony Wright. Take it away.
That's right, Jim. 2 weeks ago, Anthony Wright led Baltimore to an amazing comeback versus the Seahawks. And a day later, he celebrated the birth of his second daughter. And after a win against the 49ers last Sunday, it looks like the Ravens' offense is headed in the right direction.
Does your daughter Trinity have a middle name? Could it be Destiny?
Hey, it should be. The way everything's been happening. The birth of my child, starting quarterback for the Ravens. It's been amazing. I don't think there are too many teams in this league that can stop us.
No, where did you get all this confidence from? I mean, you were third string quarterback.
Just watching.
You got released by the Steelers. You didn't make it in Dallas. Where did you get all this confidence from?
I always say I have confidence in myself because I've seen quarterbacks play in this league. I know how I can play in this league. And watching the playmakers on this offense, Jamal Lewis, Todd Heap, I knew that we had something special.
All you can ever pray for is please let us make the games in December mean something. Anything beyond that, you're being greedy. And we're there, where December games mean something. So when we made Anthony Wright our quarterback, we knew we could be in this position, and we had confidence that Anthony could be a part of that process that takes us into the playoffs.
With the way he's playing, Coach, do you stick with him even when Kyle is
right now,
healthy?
No question. It just would be imprudent late in the season on a playoff drive to make that switch at quarterback.
Is this the new approach? Does Coach Billiken have that much faith in you now that you guys can attack on offense?
I think so. I think so. The way my receivers have stepped up to the challenge, I think now we can be an explosive offense. I think all of them to that point, we were playing not to lose the game.
I mean, this team is no longer a one-headed monster on offense.
Oh, yeah. Now it's taking the load off of me big time, and that's great. Now I can't wait to see that 7 to 8 man box.
An offense is always going to carry the personality of its quarterback. We're still putting the fingerprints of this offense on Anthony to find out exactly what this is going to look like.
During the Seattle game, Jamal Lewis walked up to you and said, I believe in you more than anybody. Just be Anthony. Just go out and play.
I knew it was time.
The wisdom of the ages. Brian can do things with the ball that no one has seen in years. Correll's got speed to burn.
Nobody calls him Correll. He corrected me.
Buck. I guess I was going with the formal approach.
Voted team offensive MVP 3 out of the last 5 seasons. A pro's what they're calling Staley, despite coming out on the wrong end of a 26-day holdout in the summer, stemming from a contract dispute.
What were you determined not to do?
Be disgruntled. We've been friends from the beginning, and it all got to do with chemistry and knowing that person. And, you know, we root for each other. I think that's important for people to know.
And his fellow running backs really, really missed him.
I'm coming off ACL, so, you know, I'm praying and hoping that, you know, my knee is going to be fine. I don't know. He wasn't there, so, you know, I'm just praying.
More reps. That's what
I'm taking more. Yeah, the rep.
And the beats was longer. The beats was longer, too.
But as warm and fuzzy as the picture of selflessness the trio paints, at least one player has some explaining to do.
Now, who is it that had the little incident at Nebraska about wanting the ball and not? Let me see. Who is that?
Oh, do we have something we don't know about?
There was not a suspension.
Oh, yeah, that one game. That last season I was a starter. They done bumped me down to third. No. I was like, hold on. And especially the guy that they put in front of me wasn't better than me. I mean, come on. All we know is working now. Yeah, we're going to ride this thing on out.
That's right.
To the wheels fall off. Should have done some stuff up, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I did my job.
Kidding aside, for the mainstay, the stay is over.
Is it a done deal, Deuce, that you're out of here?
Yeah, there's no question. You know as a player and when the writing's on the wall. But I got 2 guys behind me that's definitely going to make a spark, you know, here in Philly. And those two guys will definitely pick the torch up and continue to move on.
And Staley is out a pretty nice chunk of change because of this situation. His contract, of course, is laced with incentives regarding his production and being on the field and carrying the football. And he's losing a lot of money in that term. But so far, JB, another thing that's so surprising about him is he says, A, I can't do anything about that, and B, another team will more than compensate me as a featured back down the road. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you very much. And talking about Deuce and what Pam said, I mean, pretty professional attitude, but does Philadelphia take anything away from Miami's prescription for success over Dallas?
Yeah, without question. You know, you look at Dallas, and Dallas won 8 games by, you know, throwing the ball to those wide receivers and having a blitzing #1 defense. Well, what Miami did, they kept everybody in tight. They didn't let that defense give them bad plays. And the other thing is they went after Mario Edwards, the weak link in the secondary, and gave him all kind of problems throwing touchdowns at him. The other side, Miami's corners are really good, and they took away the wide receivers. Now Philadelphia's secondary, they're getting back healthy. Them being healthy, I think it's a mismatch for Dallas today.
You know, this Dallas-Philadelphia matchup reminds me a lot with the 3 running backs on each football team. Reminds me when I was a little bitty boy and I used to go to my Uncle Buck and my Uncle Bocephus. They both had cattle ranches. And I'll tell you where I'm going with this. They both had 3 blue heelers. Those are herding dogs, folks. And Uncle Buck's ranch ran real good because they came, although those 6 dogs all came from the same litter, dadgummit, Uncle Buck's farm ran much better because those blue heelers on his farm kept those cattle in line. Now, Uncle Bocephus really struggled with it, and he lost a lot of cattle. So the way I'm saying it, and this is a great example, when you don't have information, you go with farm analogies, and the Dallas Cowboys are essentially Uncle Bocephus, and the Philadelphia Eagles are Uncle Buck.
I'm telling you.
Dadgummit.
Now I know I've had an impact on your life. This is sad. This is sad. But that's some good stuff, and you need to do more of that.
Final thoughts, and Bernie Mac, he won't be talking about Bocephus when we come back. Oh, God, Bocephus.
We didn't just give the new Ford F-150 more horsepower. We gave it the most low-end torque. Why did we push farther than anyone else? So you could do more than anyone else.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting game. Battle of 2 great quarterbacks. Turnovers will play a major role, like you know. Edgerrin James is going to have to run the ball, but I don't think he can against this defense.
In the division, revenge game. Jeff Fisher played against him when I was in Cincinnati. This is going to be a Tennessee game all the way, I have a feeling.
So what's so funny?
Folks, we'll see it for those of you with the 4 o'clock game. We're back in just a moment.
Dallas Cowboys did on Thanksgiving. It's a dangerous situation. This team clearly was humiliated. They haven't gotten over it yet. We talked to them last night, and they can't wait to get out on the field. You add to that the fact that you have Bill Parcells now with 10 days to get ready for the Philadelphia Eagles. A dangerous situation for the Eagles. But, Troy, no matter what, it's always tough to come in here and get a win.
More importantly, Kitna's going to have to protect the football. Turnovers will play a crucial role in this battle, and Kitna's going to have to show some poise when that defense comes after him. He's going to have to protect the football. Again, the big guys on the outside, Todd Heap and Marcus Robinson, they're tall, and they like to win those jump ball situations.
Ray Lewis and the Baltimore Ravens play host to the Cincinnati Bengals. All the action is coming up
on CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 38.
It's the NFL on CBS today from Baltimore, a showdown in the AFC North as the Bengals take on the Ravens. Standings in the division, these two teams tied at 7-5. Cincinnati, though, won the first meeting between the two clubs. Meaningful games in December. Corey Dillon has been waiting for this.
Yeah, Corey Dillon is back and he's healthy. He once owned the league's single-game rushing record, but that record now belongs to Jamal Lewis, who has carried this offense all season long for the Baltimore Ravens.
The kickoff from M&T Bank Stadium.
Not Caleb on nothing else. We're going to get this done. We're going to do this.